Welcome everyone to a Plating Grace and Grub food truck update. I am so proud to give you a lot of great news about where the truck is, and also just to thank you for your support. My name is Father Leo Padalinghug. I am the founder and host of Plating Grace, is also the founder and chairman of the Table Foundation. I want to introduce to you just some of the amazing people that have been helping me with this project. And so I'd like to begin, at least it's to my left, it's Mike Lesharty. He's going to give you a chance to let us know who you are. Mike?
Yeah, so I am Director of Accounts and Management for Plating Grace and also administrator for the Table Foundation. So my hands in kind of all the events and just all the administration that comes behind the scenes with the truck and everything that we do.
Mike is also, he always tries to be modest. He's also the co-founder of the International Sous Vide Association, which is key when we talk about our food and our menu with Chef Jeff. But for now, I'd like to drop at least down who's on my screen, Joe Anderson. Joe, give us a little introduction of you.
Hello. Well, my name is Joe Anderson, as Father Leo just mentioned. I've known Father Leo for about, I always mention this, 25 years?
Okay, so, that's enough of Joe. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice meeting everybody. I've known Leo for a long time. So, I am the director of digital media. And so a lot of the videos that you see produced, the higher quality ones, I'm the one that's usually shooting and editing those. And then the ones that are more just Father Leo talking to a webcam, I just usually throw in some music and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Make him look taller and skinnier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Joe has obviously failed and he will now be fired. I'm kidding. No, Joe has been a great help. He is actually the director of production, at least in my mind. He's the one who does all of the video work, except for, again, the cheap videos that I'm doing on my phone. It's obviously with their kind of support. So Mike and Joe are the original direct team, but then we need to have someone who works on the food, and that is Chef Jeff Fritz. Chef, introduce yourself to our community.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chef Jeff Fritz, like Father Leo said. I've kind of been working on the project, I'd say, for about the last 6 to 8 months with Father as we were going through this whole initial process. I've been a chef since, I think, 2007 timeframe, done a lot of different things. I'm also getting ready to retire from the Air Force. So it's a nice transition into a great opportunity to work on the truck and work with Father Leo and the team. I'm excited. It's going to be a great opportunity, and it's going to have some amazing food.
It's going to have some amazing food. And because he's leaving the Air Force, he's going to have to do even more push-ups with us on the truck. I'm kidding with you. So, and then finally, and here's where we're super excited, I want to introduce the winner of our Plating Grace and Grub logo and branding marketing package. His name, drum roll please, Caesar, introduce yourself.
Hi, Father Leo. Thanks again for picking me. It was definitely a lot of work put into this, trying to incorporate a lot of stuff that you were looking for, but eventually we're going to show it. So
yeah, we are definitely going to show, but what we want to do is we want to actually go through a little bit of a genesis. First of all, the history of the truck came about because we were actually looking for a physical place to call home, a brick and mortar, a traditional, basically it was going to be a cafe. And this cafe was going to do exactly what the truck was going to do, but we were going to also hold a second floor where we can hold even more cool private events, bring in some extra outside celebrity chefs or just kind of local food influencers. But because of the pandemic, realizing that there were a lot of people not able to get out, I just really kind of heard the call of Christ to say, well, then you go out to them. And one of the best ways to do it is obviously in a truck. And so that's how it all came about. The name Plating Grace and Grub, we had a few different ideas, but we eventually landed on this, and we put out a big competition and got a lot of great responses. And I want to kind of show, Mike was going to share his screen and show what some of the different concepts are. And then we're going to kind of comment on it. Now, Caesar and Jeff Fritz have never seen this before. So the only people who had seen it is Mike, Joe, and myself. And these are some of the ones we kind of liked. I mean, they're kind of cool. And if we kind of look at that black and yellow one, we liked the circular design. Joe, Mike, what were some of the other things that we found attractive about these other designs?
I think for me, the top left here, the black and yellow, that was once we put that, and then we saw Caesar's design, the colors for the truck really started coming into play, and that was a lot for me. And then the other one I really liked on the screen was the upper right. It was a little Greek to me, which I thought was, I thought worked well with our biblical roots, but I like the hand and just sort of that overall feel.
Joe, what did you think when you first saw these and they came to our attention?
I'll be honest with you. I think I text Mike and I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if these are going to work. And sometimes I feel like you have to see what you don't like to realize what you do like.
Yeah.
Or to kind of go in a better direction. So, yeah, I don't think any of these like really hit it for me. But again, it was kind of like, okay, I know for me personally, I didn't care for the direction that they were going. So
yeah, well, I liked some of the direction. I liked the circular one, and I kind of liked the one with the hand because it had a fork in it. But then we also had other designs come in, and these are the ones on which now we got a whole bunch of designs, to be honest with you. But these are the ones that kind of rose to the top along with 3 other ones. And here's where it gets exciting. So shall we show those 3 designs?
Sure,
And that's where Caesar kind of takes over. And with these designs, these rose to the top. So we had A, which is that gold and gray one with the hand, with the food. B, which has an amazing story. And C, which was actually Caesar's. Mike, you want to tell the stories about some of these, the background chefs, because they are truly, truly incredibly talented and amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Number A on top is a designer in California. He's had a lot of experience working with trucks and with these visuals, also a lifelong Catholic. So we really liked, I think in a sense, the piety and the understanding and the faith he brought to this was really neat. And also just his initial, you can see a few touches in our final truck design, with breaking up the color patterns and a little bit of the sort of background embossing that you can see. So it's just a really neat combination that we all liked.
Yeah.
And number B, as a graphic designer who unfortunately made some poor choices, and he is currently in prison, but he heard about what we are doing and just was really compelled by our message. And he's a Catholic, again, made some bad choices, but really felt called to participate and is really excited about what we're doing.
Well, his parents actually his parents found out about our little competition, got in touch with his son, who is a professional graphics designer. And so he put this concept together. In fact, he sent us several like designs on it. And Joe, what was the thing about this that we were kind of talking about with the letter B?
Refresh my memory.
So he was the one, B is the one that's got the hands clasped.
Oh, you're talking about the hands?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, out of all the graphics that did have hands, he had the nicest hands. I will say that. I mean, we did see a
very
lot of
Joe
hands.
answer.
What's that?
That's a very Joe answer right there.
But there were some nice hands because I think, yeah. So, but I think we like this because of the messaging behind it. But I was also curious in terms of, do we want hands to represent food? Does that speak food to us? And so for me, I wasn't too hot on the hands just because mainly for that reason.
Yeah. And so, first of all, we liked all 3 of these incredibly very much. And we kind of liked the message, but we wanted to have a logo that would pop. So for example, letter A, we couldn't figure out what the logo would be. For B, we didn't know if it was actually speaking about food. We saw community, we saw unity, but what we saw in C kind of shocked us. And so our initial, and this is kind of hard for you, Caesar, to maybe hear something like this. Is it?
No, I'm used to criticism, so that's
Oh,
fine.
well, okay. So we saw C, and the colors just popped out. And for me, the first thing I said is, I can see that on a shirt. And I said that would be kind of cool. I mean, the one thing we didn't fully understand was the crown, but I said I could deal with that. I mean, it's like I was getting a little Burger King action for that, when I was thinking of that. So Caesar, maybe what you want to do is maybe go through your thought process in
Okay.
getting the truck to where it is now.
Okay. So when I first started, I was trying to, figure out, what I wanted to put on there, and I wanted it to stand out. That was the main thing, because you have a food truck, you want to be seen, and you want it to be very simple. So I picked colors that were kind of bright, usually red and gold or yellow is used in a lot of food industries. So that's the choice I used with the red.
I never thought about that, but you're right. Like Burger King and McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, it
Yeah,
all
pretty
had
much.
that kind. Oh, that's interesting. And
The food
Wendy's,
industries, all that. But then I wanted it,
Popeyes. Yeah.
yeah,
Not that I eat a lot of fast food.
I wanted it to have kind of like a street vibe going on, a little bit urban. That's why the crown in there, kind of like representing, like Christ the King, the halo, the wings. I don't know if you can notice in this that the wings actually have a P and a G in there for plating grace.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was going through, as you can see, I have a lot of sketches here. Some of them were getting a little bit too Deadpoolish.
Yeah.
But then you could see that I started to go into like wings, almost like a military look. And I was trying to incorporate like all the elements like forks and spoons and fire and, the cross, and just the wording, just the name itself,
Yeah.
So you can see like the different, if I zoom in here, you can see more of this stuff, like the different types of food, the halos. So it really started to evolve, but then I actually, once I figured out what I wanted to put out, which was this last one here, it evolved into this.
And this was what he sent to us. And this is kind of what shocked us, is that he sent us kind of like a whole package, a whole branding package. And this is what really, really struck us and got us excited. And so we put this together, he put this together, and we had kind of like some visceral reactions. We just felt like this kind of speaks to us. So we selected this one. We selected artist C. And here's where the funny part is. Caesar, I didn't know at the time, is someone that I know quite well. So it wasn't like he submitted something and said, "Hey, I know Father Leo," and I didn't tell Mike or Joe, or we had another person actually working with us named Dominic. I didn't tell them that I knew him. And here's how we know each other. Caesar, do you want to say?
Back in the day, we started our own breakdance crew.
No, dude, you're making it sound like we were just something. No, Caesar and I and my brother and his brother and another set of brothers, we won Baltimore's best breakdancing competition.
Yep, we were the best in Baltimore.
We were the best in Baltimore.
Yeah, everybody loved us or hated us, depending on if you were a breakdancer or you were just in the audience.
They hated us. Now, Chef Jeff, I know that you breakdance at some point in your life too, right?
Not at all.
But Joe Anderson did.
Yeah.
Did you hear? Did you know who we were? Oh, you weren't even born yet.
Yeah, I probably wasn't even born.
That's
I
ridiculous.
was breakdancing in mama's womb. That's what I was doing.
Oh, so you're like John the Baptist. I love that. Okay.
I break things when I dance. Does that qualify?
Well, there you go, Mike. I appreciate that. Mike had to jump in there too to let us know his breakdancing ability. But Caesar, what was your breakdancing name?
It was Razzle Dazzle.
That was Razzle Dazzle, and I was bebop. So this is a lot of information. But anyway, we saw this, we liked it, but we know we needed to make some changes. So can you go through the next iteration, Mike? I mean, Caesar, because
Sure.
this is where I said, I love the design, but I didn't understand the crown necessarily. So I sent him a little
Okay.
rendering,
Here's right here.
and that's mine. Jeff, shut up. I
The
can see you
cicadas are
making.
coming.
Yeah,
That's what it
so
looks-
so Father Leo and the team sent me this a sketch, which is great. You know, everything starts somewhere. So I started with this sketch and then built off of that the ideas that you wanted incorporated in the logo.
Yep.
And try to incorporate what I originally had.
Yep.
And just built it up. You know, and we had to go somewhere. You know, you have to start from scratch. And then just like you're in your cooking, you know, you start from scratch and eventually you get to that, you know, final plate.
Caesar,
So-
don't take Chef Jeff's part. We got to interview him next too. So
Okay.
don't jump too far ahead. But this was the idea, to have wings made out of the utensils. And I liked your wings a lot, but I saw this and I'm like, I liked his wings better. And so Caesar, the next slide that you put up was?
Okay. So this one was a bunch of different revisions.
Exactly. And we all liked his wings better.
Which is up here.
Yeah, but you also see something else here in the third line down. You see two hands. Again, this is Joe's issue. You know, he doesn't like hands. He's not a hand model. But I love this. This was a second rendering that I sent him over, and it was from a bowl and to a fork, because we do have a little theme going, faith to fork. So that was really cool. We like that. But again, didn't like the wings. So then we came up with this next design.
I also think it's important to mention, at this point, none of us had recognized that the PNG were in the wings yet.
Oh, you're
And
right.
We still really liked them, but until we got on a call with Caesar, we didn't see that symbolism. So
Yeah. I mean, now I can't not see it. And just so you know, I have shown this to a few people and they say, oh, I see the PNG. That's what they see. So coming to a final-ish rendering, but this isn't the final yet.
Nope.
We replaced a little bit of the wings with forks. And then one of the things about the first contestant A was we liked a little bit of his background texture that kind of broke up the truck. We didn't want it to look like an ambulance. So we kind of created this color palette that created some boldness. Then Joe, you want to tell your kind of thought with all this? Because this is where Joe got so picky, I wanted to choke him. But in a
Which
Christian
part?
way. Well, I mean, it's like you just had some comments. Tell us about your comments on this.
Let me try to recall. Let me see. I know that I think originally, wasn't Plating Grace and Grub, was it all white? Was everything almost white, I believe?
Yeah.
We did a lot of color changes. I think the bottom of the truck was black, so I was like, let's lighten it up a little bit. What else was I kind of just nitpicking about?
Well, that was it. It was just a
Yeah.
lot of nitpicking about the colors, but it mattered.
Yeah.
And then Caesar took all of our comments, which lasted about an hour, of us literally him changing it and making me dizzy to the point where I'm like, how do
Sorry
you?
about the motion sickness.
Oh, no. He was changing it literally live time. And then we finally ended up. And so this is the big reveal, ladies and gentlemen. This is now what our Plating Grace and Grub food truck is going to look like. Bum, bum, bum.
Woohoo!
Check it out. So let's zoom in on the driver's side, because it has all of those elements that we liked, including a swoosh. That swoosh meant so much to me because it broke the truck up and it just kind of created a real theme, a real kind of edge to it. And if you notice at the door, the lower side of the door, you have that hand in there that says International Comfort Food with a side of mercy and compassion. That just sounds cool. I mean, just saying, it sounds really cool. And on the passenger side, here's where Jeff is going to show his face and he's going to say, welcome to Plating Grace and Grub. How can I help you? and then we're going to steal all of Chick-fil-A's lines, and everything is going to end with "my pleasure." I'm kidding. We're going to have to think of something really cool. But where it says special, that might be where we have a special, or it might be where we have who's working on the truck and a little bit of their story. And people are going to want to know, on the on the passenger side door, it has international comfort food, events, because we're doing events, catering, travel, because we have amazing travel experiences, and community, which means we're going to do things to kind of help our local community. Let's show the front and the back, Caesar.
Okay.
And then Joe and Mike, jump in when you ever want to kind of say anything about any of these designs. But we loved this because the logo itself looks so good. And maybe let's just focus a little bit on the logo, Caesar, which is just right below all of that.
Okay.
That is our official logo. I mean, I think it's so cool. Chef, what do you think? This looks pretty chefy and foodie, doesn't it?
It looks amazing. I do notice that you did forget the part where, remember, you were going to put your face somewhere on the truck. Have room on the top of the truck. It'll be like an aerial view.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, if you can just wear a Father Leo mask when you're in the window.
That's what we're going to do. Caesar's going to have to create that. Caesar, why don't you show us the merch?
Sure.
This is very cool because this is kind of what it's going to look like. The guys are going to, or the people are going to be wearing these shirts and these hats with like an apron that has the logo on it as well. And then when they graduate through a culinary program, they're going to have a chance to actually get a chef coat. Now, I know that we were talking about, let's just keep the logo up there, or actually, let's go back to the multi-screen so that we can ask Chef Jeff about the food, because we've been working at this for a long time. But Jeff, why don't you make some comments about the food itself?
Yeah, sure. So I think what we came up with, like overarching, is it's going to be an international soul food, right?
Comfort food, yeah.
Food. So an infusion of different kinds of cuisines. So we're looking at 3 different main options, right? So we're looking at, you can do a salad, or option, sorry, a salad. Yep. You can, what do we call it now? We went from quesadilla to
quesatrio.
Quesatrio.
Yep. Or a noodle stir fry.
Yep. Salad option, noodle stir fry. So, and then we'll have a choice of different kinds of proteins, or a vegetable option or vegetarian option. And then just also sauces that'll go along with it. And it's kind of a, pick your own adventure is kind of what we went with. So, you'll have those options. You'll be able to pick them how you want them together. And then, we'll put them together on the truck and we'll be serving food.
And Chef Jeff and I are actually going to devote an entire conversation about the food, how we hope to serve it, because a lot of people have questions about that. And the food has got to be on point. But we can also say at this point that that we have not only reached our goal, we exceeded our crowdfunding goal, which is incredibly important. But a lot of that has to do with the initial team with Mike and Joe. And so, Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about the video, because that kind of went viral. It shows up on the website, and it's just literally the thing that speaks to it all. Can you tell us a little bit about that kind of creative design and how you put that video together, and how do you get people excited about something like this?
Yeah, well, Father Lee has always been really good at just speaking. I mean, he's a speaker. So when we filmed it, I probably have maybe 5 minutes of footage of you just riffing, knowing exactly what you want to say. And I don't know how you do it. It's something that I was never gifted with. But after we do like one take, we went through and be like, all right, let's mention some of those other things here. And then from there, I pretty much have all this footage of Father Leo speaking. And then over the course of the past few months, you've been visiting various trucks and speaking with various people. So you were able to send me clips as well. And so I pretty much from there had to just go in and piece it together to kind of make it exciting and fun and tell the whole story of.
Yeah, but I mean, you add so much character to it. Like, so for example, when I turned a certain age, I'm not going to say what it is. Yeah. You put in there that little 50 in very big numbers. Yeah. Like, then you kind of like shot it down. Where does that creativity come from?
It's just like, what's going to kind of add to the piece, add to the experience of watching the video, and also kind of poke fun at you whenever I can.
Oh,
but yeah, no, it was fun making it. I think, finding the music, felt it went with the vibe that we were going for. And yeah, it was just, I'm glad that you were able to capture all the clips and send it to me horizontal or vertically, like you always do. And I tell you not to.
Yeah. Ooh, ouch. All right. Not a problem.
But
Yeah, but you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it is a huge process.
yeah,
And what I want to do is kind of, we're bringing this to a little bit of a close. This was an introduction to some of the people who've been working in the background, but it also kind of means something to every one of them. So Chef Jeff, how about you? You're going to be on the truck every day, or at least when the truck is out, because he's going to be the director of the culinary program for Plating Grace, the Table Foundation, and the executive culinary, I don't even know, we haven't even found a name yet, of the truck itself. He's going to be working with our interns, returning citizens, people coming out of the prison system. What does this mean to you besides a job? I mean, I'd just love to hear what you think, and maybe share your thoughts with the entire world about cooking in such a unique way.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said earlier when I introduced myself, I'm in the military. I spent 5.5 years in the military cooking for some senior leaders that we have. And I met some amazing chefs from every branch. And I noticed really quickly, one of the biggest things that they did is they got out in the community, whether it was the USO, Wounded Warrior Project, just a whole bunch of things. And I really got to see people taking care of other people, they didn't have to be Wounded Warriors. They could have been anybody. And I kind of latched onto that really quickly. And being that we live in the DC area here, there's a lot of people in need around the area. So coming onto a project like this, it's pretty much an easy transition for me, because it's kind of just a continuation of what I've been doing for the last, 5-6 years now. So it means a lot. I mean, everybody needs a second chance, and I think this is a great way to teach people and help people kind of get back on their feet, especially, we're coming out of COVID, hopefully soon. And just kind of coming back to the world. And it's a great way to kind of get people, whether they're coming out of the system or coming back to the world from being locked in their house for the last year, and kind of up and letting them kind of see that there's good food out there. We can still have community and, come together as people and, share something, whether it's food or, food or thought.
What's it going to be like working with the Catholic priest? I mean, we've had the pleasure of actually cooking together quite a bit, in the past several months, and you at least know my style of cooking. I certainly have learned a little bit more about yours. Can you maybe just share what that experience is like working on a truck that has such an annoying little priest chef on there with you? I'm kidding. Just what's it like doing something for this project?
Well, I'll say, first of all, when I finished my Sunday school time when I was a child, I was like, I am never dealing with a priest. I'm Catholic, I'm with this. And then sure enough, look at me now, later on in my up with a whole, Catholic organization. We're working on a truck. It's unique. So for anybody that never met Father Leo in person, he has this way about him. He will make you feel like you're the most important person in the room, or embarrass you in front of a bunch of strangers, to get you to talk to the people in the world. But no, it's pretty awesome. I think we did one dinner and you and I collaborated on a dish, and we made, what did we call it? We called it, it was the gołąbki. I have Polish background. So we took gołąbki and we took bulgogi, we married it together, and then we ended up making this really cool dish. And I forget what we named it.
But gołąbki.
Yeah. And it was like, it was about a 10-minute conversation that turned into a dish that everybody loved.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And it was like, that's how it is. It's nice to be able to be creative. For the people that don't know about the culinary world, like a lot of times you work for a chef and you just do their recipe, or you work in a big organization and you follow a recipe. But working with Father Leo, I have creative ability, and he enjoys, I think, the conversations that we have. And it's an easy collaboration between the two of us, because we're very like-minded, but at the same time, like I have my experiences and he has his experiences, and we've found ways to merge those together. And I think that's it's really good, and it makes it easier for both of us.
I'm looking forward to the food portion of it all and sharing that message either physically or visually. And that's where Joe comes in. Joe, what are some thoughts or ideas that we're going to be trying to hopefully do with this truck so that other people can experience it along the way?
Yeah, well, first off, I can't wait to document actual like the reveal of the truck, and then seeing you on it. I think that'd be great. I think we can create a little mini series about it. You know, not only the communities it serve, but also the people that are going to be working on the truck, and they're, you know, kind of like a little featurettes of their profiles, and little mini docs of their experience and all that stuff and their progress. So I don't know. I feel like it's hard to put a specific idea on it because I feel like it can go in so many different directions. So I feel like when, you know, the truck's ready and we start rolling, we'll see what happens.
I mean, but for you personally, you've been kind of with this organization for the past couple of years. You've seen, but you've known me for so long and have monitored it all. I mean, I guess what I want you to do is tell me how you feel about it. I mean, just from a personal point of view.
Oh yeah, no, I'm super excited about it because I mean, I love food trucks and I love food and I love, you know, working for this organization. But I do have a background in creating content with charities. And so this having a nonprofit driven focus and movement, I'm excited, like I mentioned before, is sharing the stories of you know, what it's going to be able to do. And I think that's part of me too, is since, you know, I'm not a great speaker like Father Leo, but I feel like I can create videos that are pretty much how I would like to speak, you know, are the messages that I want to put out in the world. So I feel like that'll help contribute to that, and I'll be able to put my own spin on it as well.
Love it. I love it. All right. And Caesar, what's it going to be like for you to see your design on something that we think is going to catch a lot of people's attention, including media? We've already gotten some interest with our truck and our work, but it comes with a brand, and you were so instrumental in creating this brand. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. I mean, my first intention really was just to give back to the community, you know, take my talent, you know, and just really put it out there to make notice of what you're doing, you know, because it's a big deal, you know, helping out people, you know, that need a second chance, you know, just a helping hand. So for me, it really hits me at the heart. You know, I feel privileged to be a part of this team.
Oh, first of all, to have someone who I am close to, and we've had such a long history. I just told Caesar that one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to bring back a breakdancing competition. We're going to get a bunch of food trucks and we're going to kind of rent out some space somewhere. We're going to invite people to submit videos or documentation of your breakdancing ability. And we're going to have a breakdancing competition. We're going to do Baltimore's best breakdancing competition with the food truck. And Joe's going to break out his moves, and I will anoint him before he does it. But then Mike has been incredibly instrumental with all of this. Mike, let's hear. I mean, I hear it all the time, but I think people need to hear it from you. What's been your experience, and what are your thoughts for the future with this?
You know, there's so much. I think one thing that really strikes me is you know, we worked together for 2 years, and through that time, like, I've seen you praying for this and talking about this since the very beginning. And so it's really just, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for our organization and for the people this will touch, because I know this has been on your heart for a long time. And the fundraising going the way that it did, I think was really, it just really hit me as, you know, you've gone about this the right way. We've gone about this the right way, and God is blessing this ministry. And so I'm really proud of you, and I'm proud of our team for that.
Yeah.
I just can't wait till it gets out on the road. I'm very sad I'm moving to California and can't go every week to eat at the truck, all these delicious sous vide meals that we haven't talked about.
Oh yeah, we are going to talk about that eventually. Caesar, can you put our take off the screen share, and so that everyone can see each other's faces?
Yeah.
because as we bring this to a close, you can see that this is really just the start of a journey. And I mean, I hate using that term, but the word journey from giorna, is giorno, it is daily. And this has been in our minds, at least with Plating Grace, for at least a couple of years. And it was only because of the pandemic that I felt forced to just make a change in the way our organization operated. It was generally me speaking at different events or cooking private meals. And I think a lot of people thought that it was just a talk show because, you know, they don't really have a chance to taste the food unless they come to an event. And a lot of locals never really chance to taste the food because I'm always traveling. So to have a team like this, and all of us have, I mean, I have to say, doing all this work, I think we need about like twice as many people. But each one of these people here, I call them triple threats. They all have multi-talent tasking abilities. And so it's the only way something like this could have come together. Fellas, any final thoughts before we bring this to a close and send everyone on their way?
Father Leo, what does this mean to you? What does the truck mean to you? Everything.
Good question.
Yeah, you know, it means it means I never really have articulated this. So this is Joe's directing coming out. And and honestly, if he was actually recording this, oh God, I actually did want to cry as soon as you asked. Whew. It means
you've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah, shut up. See now, you can't make me cry. I never actually thought about it until you just asked me. But for me, it means that we're actually taking something out of nothing and with God's grace and with Jesus's example, and obviously just following a history of saints. First of all, I want people to know that this is God's project. In fact, that was one of the names of the truck possibilities, was the God truck, the gourmet on demand truck. But we wouldn't know how to brand it. But to see that something like this is finally happening, and to know the potential, which we're going to talk about, because other churches, other dioceses, other organizations, they can get a truck too. We'll show them how. And to show that mercy and meals and a message, they go together. I could go back to my normal talking points, but to be honest with you, it just means that I'm going to have to work even harder. And I think I'm good with that, because this is the kind of work that I think shepherds are supposed to be doing, and that's feeding their flock. Is that going to wind up in a video somewhere?
It hasn't been written yet. I like this.
No, you're right. It's no, I mean, you asked that question, I'm thinking I was just going to sign off, and so now I'm like going to be obsessed.
We're about to see what it's about to do. I think it's exciting.
It is.
You got a message to make it, so.
It's going to be very, very exciting. So I want to, dag nugget, I got emotional. I want to thank all of you for watching. I want to thank Mike, Caesar, Joe, Chef Jeff, and there are people who you didn't see in the background, like Dominic and Mike Sabal, and a whole host of other people, including the artists that submitted, and of course, every person that donated their resources to help us exceed our goal and land with a very solid footing. And also for everyone who prayed for us. This means so much to me. Words can't express. And as Joe, as producer, is saying, this really is going to be just a start of something really great. And we hope to share it all with you. So make sure that you stay tuned for details on our opening event, which will be held on Saturday, May the 1st, 2021, dedicating this on the Feast of St. Joseph the Worker, because we're going to give dignity of work and of the human person. We're going to be feeding these hungry souls. But between now and then, again, thanks to all of you guys, and we'll see you soon. Between now and then, stay hungry for God.